Hey, how is it going? I am Anthopants. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday. We're in the year 2020 now. I didn't think I would live this long. I'm just joking. You know, the funny thing is, like, my grandma was born in 1920, like in the 1920s, and now it's 2020, so she's lived through both 20s, which is interesting. Let's move on, though. So, I have been keeping up on the Sega Genesis speedrun, like what's the biggest speedrun on the Sega Genesis. The game I play is Streets of Rage 2, and so here's just Sega Genesis, sort by, title, then we'll move on. So, most active, Streets of Rage 2. This is the game I play. Let me get my face out of the way. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2. This is the game I play. I also have put in runs for Pringles. Pringles is also up there. You're not going to see Barney yet. Barney was on top for Sega Genesis, but let's look at the most runs. We'll go to most runs next. So Streets of Rage 2 is on top with the most runs. Then there's Pringles. So you're kind of seeing the same thing. There's the OG Streets of Rage. There's Contra Hard Corps. And here's Barney's Hide and Seek. Then when we go to sort by most players, yeah, so Barney has been dethroned. Barney was the king of the most players on the Sega Genesis. And no longer. So Pringles now is showing up as the top game here, with Barney in second, Streets of Rage 2 in a far distant third. The strange thing, though, is that if you look at the statistics, statistics have come back to speedruns.com. They were down for a while. And you look at number of full game players, there's 213 as opposed to the 214. So maybe, I don't know if there's total players and total number of full game players is different. Maybe it's a little bit, those are two different stats. Then Barney's actually got a higher number of full game players is 217. So how Barney has 217 full game players, but has 211 total players, I don't fully understand the difference between those two things. I think Streets 2 actually has the exact same amount when you go into the statistics. Yeah, 106 and 106. So 106 here. And then the 106, yeah. I have put in speedruns for all three games, for Pringles, Barney, and Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2 is the game I started running. It's the first game I ever put a speedrun into. So last speedrun I've also put into as well. Let's look myself. There I am. There's old man Anthopants in 25th place on the Pringles game. Yeah, the idea of Pringles for me is to try and get a sub 3. I think I have a time a little bit better than this one. I just haven't submitted it. But I haven't gotten a sub 3 minute run yet. And I want the sub 3 minute run. And there's, Party Manx over there on top of the Pringles. I've also put in a run for the Barney game as well. This one I think I'm a little 122nd. Okay, so 122nd place for the Barney game. But I've only played it once. I don't really plan on playing it again. I did a no controller run as well for Barney, because if you just let the game go, it'll just play itself. But there's people up on the top. First place, Dethroned and Stage 4 and Turnip. I don't know why they're ranked differently. Maybe Dethroned was the first one to get that 4-minute 22nd, and that's why he's got that top place time, but they all three in first place. They have the same time. Maybe they might be looking at the milliseconds in there as well. Not sure. Yeah, but Streets of Rage 2, lately I've been running normal. Yeah, I'm about 21 seconds. Let me put it so we can see this. I'm 21 seconds behind where the world record time is, and that's a 2 days ago for me, but 2 years ago for the world record time. So that's a long-standing world record time, but I just recently, after a 3-year hiatus of not playing ever anything other than Mania, I hadn't played normal. I jumped back into normal. So I'm gonna keep working on it. I don't focus so much on like what their time is. I more just look at what they're doing and seeing if I can improve myself, and then I just try and get my times down. But I was working on Mania for a long time, and I just was tanking my Mania times further and further down until I finally got the 42-minute run, and then I was like, okay. But those are the 3 big games, Pringles, Barney's Hide and Seek, and Streets of Rage 2. Those are the three big Sega Genesis games. And Pringles is a homebrew. Barney's Hide and Seek is kind of a I don't really know what to say about it, but it is a Sega Genesis game. It's just something that's they're all 3 are actually very accessible games to play. If you want to play Streets of Rage 2 on Mania, it's not very accessible, but there is like the very easy setting. And, if you want world record on very easy, you're going to have to really work for it. But if you want to just put in a very easy run, it's like it's just, Axel probably has like way more. I don't know who has the most on very easy. Plays skate? No, Axel. So Axel looks like he has the most on very easy. He probably has more on normal. But, even normal is not it's not impossible to get through the game on normal. And Axel's a very easy character to play as. Putting in a good run though is always takes time, but it's an accessible game. Barney's Hide and Seek, the fact that you can do it any percent no controller, like literally no controller on this thing. Yeah, it's just extremely accessible. Even the any percent, all I did was like held the D-pad in a certain position. I didn't even try and do anything else. But if you want to get world record, you're gonna have to work for it. And I would say Pringles is kind of the same thing, where it's not. I don't know how long it took me to actually beat the Pringles game, but it doesn't take too long. It's not going to take you, much more than a couple hours probably to even get through the Pringles game. So they're 3 very accessible games. 2 of them are very quick games. The Pringles game being like let's see what like long time on Pringles game is here. So long time is 1 hour 30 minutes, which is probably this person's like first or second time playing the game. But that's like, you're not fully speedrunning the game at that point. Sorry to be trash talking, but it's kind of the truth. I think if you are getting to that point where you're like, okay, I'm going to start speeding myself up, you're going to be probably within that like 10 minutes or so range. Then moving on. But yeah, even, Streets of Rage 2 is even like world record with the fastest character. I think it's, no, it's skate. Okay. You're 17 minutes. So fastest category, very easy. Fastest character, you're still running the game in about 18 minutes or so. So even if you are at that world record pace, so it's a much longer game to play. You got to put a little bit more into it. And I think the shorter games get a little bit more attention. They're just easier, more accessible. And so long as they're easy enough where people can just play them and beat them. Well, Pringles does have... See, Pringles, I think, has categories that... let's see. It has weird categories. In real life, there's like an in real life category where you're actually just eating a can of Pringles. It has nothing to do with a video game. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like anybody can play these 3 games and get through it and put a timer on. And therefore, because of that, I think it's just the accessibility to speedrun them is also there. Well, okay. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the biggest news in the entire universe that Barney got dethroned. I kind of wanted Barney to get dethroned, and now that Barney has been dethroned, I strangely want to see Barney back up on top, which probably says a lot about me and how strange my thinking is. But anyway, that's where we're at. I don't know if next week Barney's gonna make a comeback, or if Pringles is just gonna keep blasting it off into the stratosphere. I foresaw Pringles overtaking Barney, and it has happened. So yeah, that's where we are. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a good year for everyone. Okay, later on. Hit the guy!